Hello! I have my coffee, my big stack of bills. Today I want to talk about why I had my tubes tied, my experience with it, is tying my tubes expensive, and do I regret tying my tubes? I have two girls, but in between the pregnancies for the two girls, I also had two miscarriages. During the fourth pregnancy, there were some concerns during the prenatal blood tests, and while everything turned out fine in the end, there were a few weeks where we were thinking about terminating the pregnancy because the concerns with the fetus were that serious. After my second daughter was born, I started thinking about birth control, specifically a tubal ligation, which is a permanent birth control. I felt that the two miscarriages and the difficulties with my fourth pregnancy were my body's way of telling me to take care of myself and to not get pregnant again. And with tying my tubes, I wouldn't mess with my hormones and it wouldn't really affect my periods. Plus, it's completely covered by my insurance, or at least it should have been, which we will get to later. Now, the day of the surgery, I checked into the hospital on a Thursday around 7 in the morning and was discharged by that afternoon. Once I was checked in and lying on the hospital bed, multiple nurses and doctors would come in and take my vitals and ask me the same set of questions over and over again, like if I was allergic to anything, did I eat anything that morning, and yada yada. I also signed a bunch of paperwork, and the anesthesiologist, his nurse, and my OBGYN who would be performing the surgery also stopped by to check on me and to ask the same set of questions. Once I was lying on the operating table in the operating room, someone said that they were administering the drugs, and within like 15 seconds of that, everything started to get warm and fuzzy. And then the next thing I remember is a nice nurse asking if I wanted ice chips. I had a major sore throat because while I was asleep, the doctor had inserted an oxygen tube into my mouth down my throat. After the surgery, I lied in the outpatient room on the hospital bed for a few hours while the drugs wore off. But during that whole time, I was too nervous to look under the hospital gown to see how big the incisions were. The nurses would come by and take my vitals every like 15 minutes or so. Around early lunchtime-ish, one of the nurses came by, said that while I could take my time, I could start getting dressed and packing up. That's when I finally took the courage to look under my hospital gown. Even though my OBGYN had said that I would be walking after the surgery and that it's nothing like a C-section, I was still kind of nervous because I had been through 2 C-sections, so it's not fun. But surprisingly and gratefully, it was actually fairly easy to walk, albeit slower pace than usual. I had 2 gauze pads on each side of my abs, a little higher than where my C-section scar is. I went back to work on Monday, but during that long weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, my parents came up to help with the kids so that I didn't have to. And in true Korean fashion, my mom made Korean seaweed soup called miyukguk. Miyukguk. I have a big American accent on the few times I speak in Korean. Miyukguk is basically the equivalent of American chicken soup. It's great for the woman's body and whatnot. It has a ton of benefits that my mom could rattle off to you. It helps the uterus and placenta and whatever. But it looks nothing like chicken soup. While I was recuperating from the surgery, I had my sore throat all weekend, and my shoulders, chest, and like upper belly were really sore because gas was used to inflate my like belly area during the procedure. Again, I was out cold, so I don't recall this, but it felt like I did a really big workout on my shoulders and chest, basically. I was able to shower the next day on Friday, and the gauze pads came off on their own like a week later. So now I get to what is the price of a tubal ligation. The anesthesiologist charged $1,470. OBGYN charged a total of $3,700. And the hospital charged a total of $18,909.70, bringing the total to $24,079.10. Now, here's the kick in the balls. The insurance company didn't cover the entire procedure and anything related to the procedure, as federal and state law requires. They are leaving me to pay the anesthesiologist $158.40, my OBGYN $436.64, and the hospital a total of $6,083.12. So where am I at now? I paid the anesthesiologist and a fraction of the hospital bill because it was sent to collections, and I didn't want debt collectors calling me up and affecting my credit history. While I'm negotiating with the insurance company, at some point the hospital is going to send the $6,000 and change that I still owe them to collections. So my plan is to apply for financial assistance. That basically means I send them some paperwork like my last few pay stubs, my household income basically, and hope that they will grant me a charity discount. Applying for financial assistance at the hospital also freezes my account for another 30 days. Whether or not the hospital grants me any kind of charity discount, I'm also going to ask for a cash discount if I pay the entire balance up front, and B, a payment plan. So now, do I regret having my tubes tied? I do not. Even though I've been fighting with the insurance company for over a year, and then I possibly have to pay out $6,000 plus, I'm so happy that I had my tubes tied. I was so anxious and stressed during the entire pregnancy with my second daughter and the postpartum period. I don't really want to go through that again. Now that I am just short of 40 by a few months, any kind of complications would probably just be worse during the pregnancy and after. Then I don't want to jeopardize my health. So there's my experience with tying my tubes. Let me know what you think. Ask me any questions you want in the comments or my Instagram, The Korean Accountant. If you like this video, hit subscribe and like. Let me know what else you want to see. Anything to do with personal finance or paying off bills or just asking questions about me. Thanks. Bye.